discovery. So you could work in discovery as a lawyer at a major law firm. So what if they try to redo that process, but they can only do it in their private little worlds, so it doesn't really work. Or they try to scare people. Like this would be scary, because what if you feel like your life is threatened and they would throw you, and they can send these, they could imply and use nuance and innuendo to scare people on the streets. Most people who are regular and not part of it wouldn't pick up on that. But it can be sent. A fear factor can actually be sent to a person. So, and some people, it's in their DNA, they need to keep people under their thumbs. I grew up this way. There are people who look good, they seem innocent by other accounts, but they need to keep people under their thumbs. You will sit down here, and that's, you will sit down here, that attitude. My mom wasn't like that at all, and was kind of naive. I don't like to use the word naive, because she was a normal person. She didn't expect that certain people would come along and behave like mafia members while not necessarily looking like the mafia. But the same mentality exists in their brain, in those brains of those people who came along to sort of ruin a family. I need you over here because I need to do what I want to do. Maybe someone's cheating on their wife, his wife. He would need his wife to be at work and for his daughters to be somewhere else, or sons, or what have you. Okay, so-and-so is here. I made sure this person's at daycare or dance class or whatever. The wife. But they think in a maniacal, plotting, methodical, calculating way. So anyway, if you grow up with calculating people who need you to sit down so that they could steal all the money and make sure they had as much as possible when people die, you sort of have to learn how to adapt in the world in a different way. There's not much power. The downside is then you have people saying, well, go, seek out a lawyer, do this, do that. The thing is, you really can't. And I know it sounds like acquiescing and not being able to get your fair share, say, if money were an issue and so forth and so on. It's better to just be, emancipate yourself from that group, from that system, from that mindset of people who were bullying you your entire life. Some people need to be extracted from controlling entities to survive. Some people's lives, so anyway, but point being, say you actually were married to the mob and you realize, whoa, I need to get out of this. I feel like I'm totally controlled. I don't feel the freedom to do that, and you feel incredibly oppressed to the point of like, you're really scared and you feel oppressed, depressed, and everything else. How do you escape that system? Because technically your brain is in the matrix of whatever world maybe you married into. That is an actual thing, that people's brains are actually part of someone's group or matrix. How do you say we were all telephones ourselves, walkie-talkies, and an operator needs to come in and it's like, we have to reconnect all the lines that have been going to this person's brain in order to provide a better life for this person who was sabotaged, tortured, abused, manipulated. They try to convince people that they're crazy, and the people aren't crazy. So a target isn't crazy, they are actually being effed with. I am so not kidding how bad it can get. And people not in the know in general can't always see it unless they're highly trained. Highly trained people who can see the dynamics playing down here on Earth are way up there in the sky watching. They sort of have to carefully choose because they don't want people to get hurt. Some people are basically innocent. The target is very innocent. All right, Florida. That guy shows up at Rittenhouse Square. I thought he was just like a retired kind of half bum guy. So, because he would always hang out at, across from 1845 with a friend. And I'm like, they're here every day just hanging out. What are they doing? Turns out today he has a Florida Mercedes and he's going up Locust. I kind of wondered, because some people are sketchy. They wear suits and they're not really important. But anyway, how about that? It's the first time I've seen him driving a car. So anyway, do you want to clean out here? But anyway, that's my whole point. Some people are innocent. Some people are part of families and they're basically innocent, but one or two members of their family are incredibly controlling to the point of danger. It sounds silly because when I first got here to Philadelphia, I roll my eyes at the idea of mafia. I'm like, are you kidding? It's not 1953 any longer, But there are people who still heavily believe that they don't want to do anything to cross anyone. They live in fear. Free hugs. I love this house because they have a lot of bird feeders, like bird houses. So this is one of my favorite houses to pass by. And there's a lot of peace associated around this house. They basically have good energy. And there's a bird right there, so please don't relieve yourself as I pass by gently here. One of my favorite homes, they clearly love nature, so they will respect nature as much as possible. I just learned Philly is very nature oriented, believe it or not, so they try the best they can to maintain a balance, to make sure the concrete jungle doesn't take over like the real lush plant life, I learned a word the other day that maybe I heard it once before years ago, but I watched a guy named Gabriel Travels or Traveler. He used to be Gabriel Kundalini, but now he's Gabriel Traveler, and he travels the world sort of in vagabond fashion, kind of. He's really from northern or upstate California. For some reason upstate came in, but so anyway, it was in Turkey, like Kokodea or whatever, Turkey, a place in Turkey where they had pigeon roosts and everything built into these stone homes, if you will, or these sort of slabbed together the old school homes that are made from raw materials, almost with hands. But he was talking about pigeon guano, Guano, and I was like, oh my gosh, I did not know guano was a word. So now I'll tuck that in the back of my brain, and I will forever remember pigeon guano as a way to refer to pigeon droppings. Basically it's the droppings, the refuse, the excrement, sorry, and the poop of pigeons. Now see how guano this sounds a little classier, if you will, to say, than poop. So now, oh, look how cute there's a black lab on the stairs and he has his paws down to the first. How cute is that? This is a liberal church here. Which way are we going? All right, so Trinity Center for Urban Life. Relentlessly